Hello, just doing a quick audio test here. General Kenobi. Hello, welcome. I'm just making sure this. Hold on, this doesn't seem to be working right. Okay, it's working right. I'll just give people a couple of minutes. This week I don't really have anything to show off behind the scenes, so what I thought I would do instead is we're going to watch through chapter 1 and 2, and I'll do a sort of live director's commentary. And if anyone's got any questions about these two chapters, ask in the chat and I will answer them to the best of my ability. I haven't actually done this before. I mean, I've done a commentary before, but doing a live commentary like this, I haven't done before, so this should be quite an interesting experience. It's because chapter 11, I don't have the audio recordings yet, and most of what's required for it I've already made, so I can't really show making anything for it. I mean, last week I did the Dagobah set creation, and obviously that needs a little bit more work, but until I actually get started on the animation I can't really do much with it. Well, Ukla, thank you. So yeah. Well, Wisdom, thank you for stopping by. Take care at the gym, have fun. Hi Langs. So I'm going to give people a couple more minutes to see that the stream is happening. I do apologise for being a few minutes late. It seems to be a running theme for these last few weeks. The time does sneak up on me. So yeah, as I already said, I'll just go over it again. I'm going to be doing a live director's commentary on chapter 1 and 2. I almost thought about going through all of them, but I think we'll just start with the first two chapters, and then maybe we'll do 3 and 4 next week. Because I don't really have anything to show making chapter 11 yet. After last week I did the Dagobah set, which needs more work, but I can't really do any more of that until I've got the animation and the motion capture done. And you already seen me making characters and things in the previous stream, so I don't want to go over the same thing. And also, I do already have all the character models and everything needed for chapter 11. So this seemed like a good plan. Well, Wandering Desert, welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy these streams. Let's just say I'd like animation to be my what I do for a living. My own animation. I do commission work as well, but I much prefer doing my own work. Well, I think we'll get started in just a moment. This should capture the sound and play it through the stream. Actually, I should probably lower the volume just a little bit so it's not drowning my voice out, because I'm going to be doing a commentary, and I'm sure you've all seen these two chapters before. Arlen, thank you for watching my work. Thanks, I'm really glad you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to do, especially the ambush shootout scene. I'll give it till 22 minutes past on my display down here, and then we'll get started. And I'm still not used to this figure down here. Did not expect that when I first made this chapter. I had to read through the that fight scene several times in the book to make sure I captured it. I did make it a little bit more dramatic. Things like in the book, the Falcon only lifts off the air for half a meter, and I did that, but it didn't look quite as exciting as what I did with the animation. So small little changes like that. Well, Peace Treaty, Akbar, Han and Wedge were all voiced by the same voice actor, Matt Finish. Sometimes he joins us in these streams. He also voices Luke, and he does 3PO and Obi-Wan. You should check out his YouTube channel because he's got a very impressive range of character voices in his demo videos. He's done an original trilogy one, and he's done a prequel trilogy. Well, if they had done excuse me, I just ate a biscuit before I got started. I got a bit stuck in my throat. If they had done a live action trilogy, I wouldn't be here doing this because I wouldn't need to. So in some ways, them not doing it is good for me because it means I've made this project and I'm getting to talk to you guys. Leia's is a little bit pale anyway. Thanks, I can see why. He's such a great voice actor. He definitely deserves all the recognition. I was so lucky to come across his channel, and he was very excited to work on this project. Anyway, I said I was going to get started at 22 minutes, and it's 23 past, so yeah, we'll get started. Chapter 1. Good, his 3PO is excellent. I mean, all of his characters are excellent, but yeah. Yeah, so Chapter 1, I did this as a quick test project because I wanted to do a quick space battle to test some ideas. It was the perfect music choice for that particular scene. Well, both the pieces of music. Anyway, I'm going to press play on this. 24 minutes past, good time to start. So, let's get going. I didn't put the opening crawl in because as I said, this was meant to be just a test. I didn't expect it to be anything more than this. So the opening crawl is a different video, which I released when I did Chapter 2. Of course I had to put the assault gunboats in because I thought they're hyperspace capable ships and they're meant to be long range scouts, so they seem like a good choice to me. I know the comic puts TIE fighters in, but TIE fighters generally don't have hyperdrives.
Blast it, Rook. What do you think you're doing?
That's me voicing both of those characters.
My job. You may enter.
This is what I really wanted to get straight to as well. I mean, I know in the book there's an extra scene where Pelian's on the bridge.
I thought you'd want to know.
Thinking to himself,
the scout
which you
ships
can't
have
really show
returned from the Abroa skies.
So I thought
the Wing
just
Commander
cut
will be
straight
ready
to this
for
part.
debriefing in a few minutes.
Were they able to tap into the central library
system? They got at least a partial dump.
It's weird seeing these old character
Don't know yet
models now
if they were able to
compared to the ones I'm used to using.
Apparently there was some attempt to
at the
pursuit.
moment.
The Wing Commander thinks he lost them though.
No, I don't believe he has. Particularly
well, that's
not
a huge
if the
thing
pursuers were from the rebellion.
here. So, I'll have to check
Yes,
out
sir.
his videos.
I've ordered the sentry line onto yellow.
I didn't
alert.
realise he'd spoken
Shall we go
about
to red?
this project, so I'll have to check
Not
it out
yet.
after the
Tell
stream.
me, Captain, do you know anything about art?
Ah, not
So thank
very
you for
much.
letting me know about that.
You should make the time. Safa paintings. Note how the style changes right here.
Well, Philip, I'm
British
just glad
Command
that
Admiral
you're
Thrawn.
enjoying these.
Sir, we're under attack.
This is Thrawn. Go to red
The art
alert
on the
and
walls
tell
is
me
actually
what we've got.
fractal
Calmly,
images. I
if
found a
possible.
piece of software that
Yes, sir.
generated
Four new
fractal images, and I thought, well, they look nice
plus
and
several
alien
waves
looking.
of X-wing fighters coming in on the scout ship Spectre.
Run engines to full power. Prepare to make the jump to light speed.
Belay that jump order. TIE fighter crews to their stations.
Well, Arlen, I played the
Activate deflector shields.
X-Wing
Admiral.
games so much, especially TIE
Let's take a
Fighter,
look, shall
when
we?
I was a young boy, and
Let's see exactly
being able to
what
bring
we're
a lot of those
dealing
ships
with.
back is very important
Bridge.
to me.
Order the nearest 3 sentry ships to attack.
Ah, you told him about it. Well, in that case, I hope he enjoys the
Excellent.
series.
Pull the other 2 sentry ships
Revan, welcome.
back.
Shouldn't
Saruman
signal
the
the rest of
White.
the fleet. The Death's Head could be here in 20 minutes. Most of the others in less than an hour.
The last thing we want to do is bring in more of our ships, Captain. After all, there may be survivors, and we wouldn't want the rebellion learning about us, would we? Bridge, I want us flat to the invader's vector.
Yes, sir. Sir?
You don't
There have been
have to
several different
understand,
incarnate
Lieutenant.
voices for Thrawn in the
Just
games over the
obey.
years. I remember playing TIE Fighter and Thrawn showing up in the intro first time after I got the book.
I'm afraid I don't
And it
understand
was
either.
Watch
such a thrill to be able
and
to see that
Captain.
there's Thrawn. He
TIE
actually has
fighter
a.
squadrons. Launch
That was
when
his
ready.
first
Head directly
graphical
away from the Chimera for 2
depiction other than
kilometers
the cover of
and
the
sweep
books.
around in open cluster formation. Do you understand now, Captain?
Turning the ship gives the
Captain
fighters
Spire.
some
Thank you so much for doing
But
that.
the rest is
and
nothing
pointing
but a
people in
classic
this
Mark
direction.
Sable closure maneuver. They're not going to fall for anything that simple.
On the contrary, not only will they fall for it,
The Joris
they'll be
Sabaoth
utterly destroyed
pronunciation
by it.
comes up quite a lot.
Watch,
I
Captain.
do enjoy that everyone pronounces it slightly differently. Of course, we've got the Mark Sable closure maneuver. I did have to go back and watch the Clone Wars
It's in the Empire.
version of this
They are trying
maneuver
the only
again,
defense
but of
they
course,
know of
the Venator
against
Star
the
Destroyer's got
Mark
a different hangar
Or to
layout
be
to
more
an Imperial Star
precise,
Destroyer, so I
the
couldn't
only
really copy
defense they are
what they did.
psychologically capable of
I
attempting.
do know that Timothy Zahn was very happy with the way that was shown in the Clone Wars, so it made sense that if he liked it, then I should use it for inspiration.
There is an element commanding them force, and elements simply cannot handle the
Wandering in the
unstructured
desert,
attack profile.
if you look at
of a
the
Mark
X-Wing
Sable.
miniatures game, they released the assault gunboat
You were
as
able
a
to tell from that those were in
model
loaded ships.
that you can play the
Learn
game
about
with.
art,
It's a tabletop
Captain.
miniatures game.
When you understand the
I've got 2 of
species
them.
art, you understand that species. Bridge, bring us to
Everyone,
Flansby.
welcome. It's nice to see you
Prepare
again.
to join the attack.
I will put those in if it makes sense. I mean, obviously that those 2 ships didn't exist when the book was written, but
Sounds
if I
like
can
the
put them
Abra Sky system
in
is
a way that
bust.
makes sense, then I will.
We cannot spare the
do that.
manpower needed to pacify the planet.
For now, perhaps. But only for now. Bridge, this is Grand Admiral Thrawn. Set course for the planet Merca.
Merca, Admiral.
The first piece of the puzzle. A creature indigenous to the planet. The second piece lies on a world called
Well,
Wayland.
Outbound Flight actually took place before the
May I
Clone
ask
Wars,
what exactly this puzzle is?
Aye,
so
the only
might have
puzzle
been
worth
tricky.
solving, of course. The complete total and utter destruction. of
Working in the
rebellion.
desert, that's a good idea. I have to keep that in mind. Oh, and thank you. This was actually I'd done some space battles before in other projects, but I wanted to give a Star Wars space battle a try. Because it'd been a while, and I had some ideas, which is why I made this first chapter. I'm going to pause it there just so I can chat. Yeah, I made the first chapter because I wanted to test out some Star Wars style space battles and some ideas with the software, because space battles I've been working on before I wasn't really happy with. I mean, I was, but there were things that didn't feel quite right, so this was a good way to test it out. I didn't expect the huge response from all of you guys asking me to make more. That was just going to be a one-off video project. But luckily you all convinced me that it's worth continuing. So that leads us to chapter 2. Well, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Captain Spire, yeah, and I do expand the space battles a little bit from the books, because obviously you don't see anything in the book. It's all from the character's perspective. But Star Wars is known for space battles, so you kind of get the balance between expanding what was in the book to have an exciting scene to watch without it being too long. And I'm glad that you feel like it's been I've been successful in getting that balance right. Floopy animation, thank you. Thrawn's one of my favourite characters, and I've really enjoyed the books as well, so thank you. Peace Treaty, yeah. A lot of it is down to the software improving. So as you can see, these chapter 2 is, or 1 and 2 are both using the old character models. When I was working on chapter 3, the software had a huge update in how the character models were handled. So I then had to create new character models for chapter 3. So there's a big jump in quality there. And then of course in 4 I had to revisit Han, Luke and Leia. No, not 4. They weren't in 4. 4 was Thrawn and Pelion. 5. The answer to that is because the EU variation, they look terrible as 3D models. I know that they were in some of the older Star Wars fan films, but when I was updating the character model, I thought, these don't look right. They're not moving properly when he moves around with his shoulders. So I decided to go with the Rebels style uniform. And I suspect the reason they redesigned the uniform was very similar, is to make it a lot easier to animate when Thrawn is walking around. Thrawn probably could have done that, but the Chimera would have taken a lot more damage. I'm sure it would have survived, but it's also not Thrawn's style. He prefers the more subtle, clever approach. Right, so I think we should move on to chapter 2. Yeah, let's play.
Luke. Hello, Ben. It's been a while. It has indeed. And I'm afraid it will be longer still until the next time. I've come to say goodbye, Luke.
No, you can't leave us, Ben. We need you.
You don't need me, Luke. You are a Jedi, strong in the Force.
Empire War is a good game, but there are ways to take out a Star
power.
Destroyer with
The Emperor is
frigates,
gone, but the dark side is still powerful.
if you're sneaky.
Never forget that. I won't.
Coruscant was...
You will yet face great dangers, but you will
It
also
was easier
find
to
new
animate than I thought it was going to be.
allies and places where
So
you expect them least.
in the background
New
it's just a
allies?
still image,
Who are
rather
they?
than having lots of 3D
I
models
have
of
lingered
buildings.
too long already.
Obviously the traffic
You can no longer postpone
is
our journey from this life to what
it's an
lies
animated
beyond.
object because it has
You
to
too
move.
will face the same journey one day. I loved you as a son, as a student, and as a friend.
the
Until
Luke's
we meet again,
quarters are
may
a
the
room that
Force
I was
be with
making for... No, actually I made them for
When I am
this, and
alone,
then I used them for something else
the
as
last
well.
of the Jedi.
Not the last of the old Jedi.
Because I felt like
The
Luke would
first
probably
of the
have
new.
fairly modest living accommodations, and the only living quarters I could find for Coruscant that someone had made were Padme's, which
I'm over here,
I
3PO.
used for Leia's.
Master Luke, I'm terribly sorry to disturb you.
That's alright. I'm just missing Ben.
This scene was
He was
With
always
Obi-Wan,
very kind to me, and also to R2, of course.
a couple of times it
You
was
might
really
have
hard
just
to
delivered
listen
his final
in a good
lesson
way
to me.
because it was
Oh,
such an emotional scene
Governments
that it
and
made it hard to
entire
work on
planets
because I
are
was
important,
feeling
3PO.
the emotions that
But when you sift everything
were
down,
part of that
they're
scene.
just made up of people. And a Jedi can't get
It's,
so caught up in
Matt
matters
Finnish,
of galactic
who voiced
importance
Obi-Wan.
that it
He
interferes
also
with his concern
voices
for
Luke and
individual
3PO.
people, or for individual droids.
It's the same voice actor of
Oh,
all three of
I
the
see,
characters
well, if you
And
are indeed
he
all
voices
right,
Han
I
later on.
expect I should be on my way.
in this chapter.
Sure. 3PO?
I can't
What
take
made
credit
you
for
come
the
up here in the
3PO
first place?
character model. That was
Mistress
one I
Leia
found.
sent me. She said you were in some kind of
I can't
distress.
remember where I found it now, but
Show off.
yeah.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Leia's showing off her new Jedi skills.
He does look great
Proving
though. I
even
think I
in
do
the
have
middle
to
of
do
the
some
night,
texture
she can
work on
pick
him
up
to make
on
him
my
more
mood.
shiny.
Oh, shall I tell her you're all right then?
Sure. And tell her I love her.
I'll deliver the message, sir.
These are the first character models for the series, which is why they're not looking as close to the actors as they do later
Your
on.
Highness, are you all right? I'm fine. Can I get you some more milk, Your Highness? Or something to eat?
No, thank you. My stomach isn't really bothering me at the moment. It's
Winter
Well,
is
you know,
voiced by a
it's Luke.
good friend of mine.
The same
I'm,
thing that's been bothering him for the
Taking
past
the recording
9
equipment
weeks.
to her house because
Has
she
it
lives
been
not
that
far
long?
from where I live, and we spent
You've
an
been
afternoon
busy.
recording Winter
I
dialogue.
don't know, Winter.
There are lots of Winter is
I
coming
really don't.
jokes.
Perhaps it's something to do with your pregnancy. 9 weeks
Because,
ago would put it just about
I mean,
right.
this, as far as I know, this
Yes,
is Winter's
but
first
it's also
ever
when Mon Mothma and
graphical
Admiral
appearance in
Akbar were
any
pushing to move
media.
the government
I mean,
seat
I know
to
she's been in some
Coruscant.
comics, but
Also,
sort
about
of-
the time we started getting reports of some
obviously she hasn't been in
mysterious
anything live
tactical
action. She's not
genius
been in any
having taken
video
over
games
command
or
of the Imperial
animation either.
fleet.
So,
I suppose you'll just have to wait until he's ready to talk to you.
yeah.
Perhaps Captain Solo will be able to draw him out when he returns.
And since she's known to be looking
Maybe.
very similar to Leia,
Good night, Your
I
Highness.
copied the Princess Leia model and gave her white hair, which as she was described as in the book. Wolf, thank you for coming all the way from Russia to watch this. Must be very
Didn't we
late in the
just
morning
leave
for
this
you.
party? Don't worry, he'll be here. It's just
Nicholas,
Travis. I don't think he's
I'd
ever
like
been
to,
on time for
but I
anything
think I
his
need
whole
to
life.
focus on
Hello,
getting this one.
Solo.
Travis, long time
finish
no
first.
see. Have a seat.
Sure. As soon as you
I
put
was
your
never really
hand on
happy
the
with the
table.
way that these character faces looked, character models
Come on.
looked.
We're old
Well,
buddies.
Chewie's fine, but
remember?
Han,
Sure we
Luke,
are.
and Leia, I felt like they
I
could be
hear you've
better, but
gone
I was limited
respectable.
by what I could do.
Respectable's
In
a
the-
vague word.
Oh, well, let's be specific. You joined the Rebel Alliance.
Software, but
Hey,
since the software
General.
has been updated, I can
Married a princess.
get them much more
Got
accurately now.
twins on the way.
I resigned the general part a while back.
Forgive me.
Nicholas, the
So what's all
Han
this about?
is
I
voiced
want
by
it-
Matt Finnish.
Nothing like that.
He
We're looking to hire
voices
smugglers.
Is this something to do with your fight
Luke.
against the Empire?
Obi-Wan and
It is.
3PO
It isn't.
in the earlier parts of this
The New
chapter as well.
Republic is short on cargo ships.
And
not to
I'm
mention
playing,
experienced pilots.
I'm voicing Travis.
If you're looking to earn some quick and honest money, this would be a good time to do it.
So what's the catch?
No catch. We just need ships and pilots to get the interstellar trade going again.
He does.
You've
Weirdly
got-
enough,
Why work for you?
this
and
is
your
obviously made
pittance
long
directly?
before Bill Burr was in
Why
The
can't we
Mandalorian,
just smuggle the stuff and make more per trip?
so it's
Good,
complete coincidence.
But only if your customers had to pay the trade tariffs that make hiring smugglers worthwhile. In this case, They
I tried
won't.
to look up
Oh,
how
come
he
on,
looks.
Solo. Expect me
There's
to
very
believe
little
that.
imagery
So what are you
of
gonna do
Travis,
instead?
so I played around
Operate
with
the
it a little bit.
Imperial sectors?
It pays.
For now, but their territories have been shrinking for 5 years straight.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I'm not
I
going to
hear
try and
rumours
pronounce
there's
your
someone
name,
new in charge out
the
there.
person who said hi from
Someone
Greece,
who's been
but
doing you a lot of
welcome.
trouble. Like in the Abroa Sky system. Well, it really was nice seeing you again, Solo. But I gotta go.
This
Just
music
give your
is
people
from
our offer, okay?
the Old Republic
Oh, I will.
video game. I can't remember the exact
Maybe someone will pick you
title
up
of
on
the
it.
music, but it's
Never
one of the
can tell.
Cantina pieces
One
of
other
music.
thing.
So
Who exactly is the big fish in the
if you look up
pond
the Old
now that
Republic
Jabba's gone?
soundtrack, you should be able to find this piece of music
a
there.
secret. Talon card.
Where can I find him?
Oh, you'd like to know that, wouldn't you? Maybe
I
someday
think
I'll tell you.
the real thing
Travis.
to say is
Gotta
Mayweather looks like Dravis from my animation, because this came first. But I don't think Dave Filoni saw this and said, "We need someone that looks like that." As much as I'd like to think that happened, and yet the finger was great fun. I got distracted. But, who else would I like to animate from the expanded universe? When I was doing the Corin Horn cameo in Chapter 10, I was very, very tempted to have him, to show him as a pilot in the cockpit rather than just talking his voice as his X-Wing flew past. But I decided to just keep it to the X-Wings. But it's nice to do Corin Horn. I'm looking forward to the scenes later on in this story with Lando, but he's not just an EU character. Who else? There's so many good ones to choose from. But Thrawn's my favourite, so I kind of feel like he would be my first choice, and I've already got him animated. Who would I like to see as a live-action Talon card? Now, I was thinking about this the other day. Now, who was it that I thought would be really good at it? Wasn't Nathan Fillion? I mean, he would, but there was the actor that... Have any of you watched his Dark Materials? Because the actor that plays Lee Scoresby has a very similar look to Talon Card, and he plays a similar kind of character, kind of a roguish adventurer. I guess it's more of an adventurer rather than a smuggler, but I feel like he would be a good choice. There was someone else that I was thinking about that would be good as well, but I can't remember who it was now. And yes, I did use some old character models to fill out the bar a little bit. It depends on how complicated the episode is. So chapter 3, once I had the recordings, wasn't that difficult because it's the two characters, mainly two characters just sitting around a table. Obviously chapter 1 had a big battle scene. I think that took about 3 weeks to do once I had the recordings. Chapter 9 had a massive battle scene. That took quite a while to do. I know that there's a big gap between 9 and 10, but I was also having a lot of computer problems, so I couldn't actually work on it. So we won't count that one. Ooh, which... I'm going to do chapter 3, but I'm not going to do it tonight. I think I don't have... When I was trying to work out what I was going to stream tonight, I realised that I can't show off anything making of chapter 11 yet, and I'm not really wanting to work on chapters further ahead of that. So I thought I could do a live commentary on chapter 1 and 2, and then next week, if I don't have anything to show, I can do 3 and 4, and so on. So I don't want to do them all in one go, because then I'll run out of material to stream. Which Timothy Zahn book's my favourite? Ooh. If I could count the entire Thrawn trilogy as one book, I'd say all 3 of them. I'd say that. Otherwise, I guess Heir to the Empire, because it's the one that started everything off. And as much as I like the other 2, you can't really have them without the first one, because they're building off the story that's already been started. I'm not going to do Dark Empire because there's already another animator working on a Dark Empire animated series, and I don't want to step on his toes. Some of the voice actors I know personally, and Matt Finish I did not know personally, but I needed someone who could sound like the movie characters, and when I came across his channel I thought, this guy's perfect. So I contacted him, and he was very happy to get on board with this project, and I feel like I'm getting to know him a bit better now over the last year or so since I did reach out to him. Some of the voice actors I know personally. Freya, who voiced Winter in this chapter we just watched, is someone who lives very locally to me. She's a very good friend, also a huge fan of the Thrawn trilogy, so she was thrilled to get a chance to be in this and to be Winter. I don't know the actress who voiced Leia in this video very well at all, and I think she felt a little bit overwhelmed by the scope of this project, so sadly I had to recast her later on for chapter 5. Yeah, chapter 5 onwards, with Erin, who also does a really excellent Leia. So I don't really know Erin that well either, because it's someone I found and reached out to. Robert S. Benjamin, I've not met in person, but we've worked together on a number of projects over the years. Ricky, who voices Sabayoth, I've known him for a long time. He's a very good friend. We've met many times. Who else? Oh, the voice actor who played Aves in chapter 3 and will later on in the story again. He's now a local friend. And obviously I know myself quite well. Well, of course I know him. He's me. Right, let's answer some more questions. Chapter 4, that was. Yeah, that was a fun project. Fun chapter to work on. Trying to make it look Star Warsy but different. And I did enjoy the inside the mountain scene. I don't know if I would animate any of the Canon Thrawn books, because I need to finish this one first, and there are other books I would choose to do first, which would probably get priority. It's not that I wouldn't do it, it's just that there are other stories I would rather do, if that makes sense. I've spoken to several Star Wars YouTubers who've reached out to contact me. I'm not actually very good at being social or reaching out to other people. I tend to get focused on making things and just kind of go off into my own little world. Arana, thank you for coming. Sorry you can't stay for much any longer, but it was nice to see you. Hope to see you again next week. May the force be with you. Oh yeah, so I was talking about other creators. I've got a few friends who are part of the old school fan film community. Don't think they really do Star Wars fan films anymore. But yeah, I tend to sit down and work on this, and then not end up being too social with other fan filmmakers, which I probably should reach out to others. I'm just not very good at it. I've always been a bit of an introvert. Which, doing these streams, I always thought might help change that a little bit. Because it means I'm forced to actually talk to people. And it's very strange now looking at Leia, and she's not the same character model that I've been using more recently. And still quite amazed by this. I did enjoy the Outbound Flight book a great deal. I think my favourite moment was when Thrawn takes out the Trade Federation battleship, basically by trolling them. I remember reading that and laughing at his approach because it worked. It was a good tactic. And then once I finished reading that chapter, I then went back and read it again. Yeah, that's my favourite moment in the book. But the whole book was really good as well. And yeah, when Thrawn was talking about the Outbound Flight, I thought, I need to show some of this. So I did go back and read the destruction of the Outbound Flight in the book. And it was a lot more complex and elaborate than would make sense in a short flashback scene. So I did do a very basic depiction of it. Because if I did it accurately, it would be really hard to follow without doing the rest of the story around that moment, which would be its own video project. And so I thought about it like at the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring film, they show a brief flashback of Bilbo getting the ring from Gollum, and it's just a very basic, he finds the ring and hears Gollum shouting in the distance. But we also know that in the book, and then the film that came along, the scene itself is much more complicated, but as far as the flashback is concerned, it only needs to be that very brief moment. So I took the same kind of approach when I did the Outbound Flights. Well, peace, TJ, thank you so much. And wandering the desert, yeah, I did think about streaming some model making, but I'm not making any models. I'm not very good at it. I prefer to find other people's models that have put them out there to be used in projects. I've done a couple of things like Luke's apartment. Let's go back here. You don't really get to see much of it because I didn't really go inside it. I also modelled this hot chocolate mug because obviously it's a moment in the book, and even though I didn't put the dialogue in for that, I felt like it would slow down the pace of the video a little bit too much. I thought it still needs to be there on the ledge with him, and when you watch it you can see little steam coming out to show that it's hot. Floopy, thank you. That's a huge compliment. Very Thrawn-like compliment. And how long does it take to write a script? So what I did was when I just was going to do chapter 1 as a test project, I only wrote that script. But once I started getting lots of people asking me to make more, I thought that my leg's gone to sleep. Sorry. Yeah, so once people started asking me to make more, and I started looking at all the technical problems, like getting the characters to look right and finding voice actors to play them and all that kind of stuff. I decided to write the script for chapter 2, 3 and 4, because I thought, I know lots of people like chapter 1, but I'm sure they're going to get bored by the time we get to 4, so that I won't need to make any more after that. And obviously I was very wrong about that. And I can't remember how long it took me to do. I think I spent 2 or 3 days working on that script for chapter 2, 3 and 4. And obviously I've had to expand it to chapter 10. I think I spent about a week doing the chapters 5 onwards. And then obviously that there's still, you guys are still wanting to see more, and which is great. So I've expanded the script again. I haven't finished expanding it completely, but over the course of the summer I do spend some time sat outside with my laptop and my Kindle, so I could have the book in one hand and then turning it into a script out. It was a nice way to get some fresh air as well when COVID's around and you can't really go anywhere because of social distancing and restrictions. Ukla, thank you so much for coming. Hope you sleep well. And I'll be streaming again next week. Well, I should be. That's the plan. I'm not sure what I'll be streaming yet. Maybe I'll be doing a commentary on 3 and 4. As Chronicles of Humanity, that's the first time that's come up in here. Let's see. There is another story. It's called Redemption. It's ready to go on YouTube. I just haven't put it up yet because I've been giving Star Wars the full attention. But it kind of ties up the loose ends from Renegades. So that will appear on YouTube. I'll probably save it for a time when there's a gap between. Oh, you saw Redemption? Well, in that case, you've seen everything that. I've got some ideas for more. I was going to do a prequel, which was set much closer to our time than the story time, and a very bleak post world where humanity is kind of recovering from overpopulation and disease and war. And then 2020 happened, and I thought, I don't want to make this because I'm already living it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that story. I may change it to be a bit less bleak, but I thought, I don't want to make this. I don't think anyone's going to enjoy watching this because we're all living through something very similar to it. So that happens. And I got some story ideas for the characters after Redemption, but nothing solid yet. And Edge of the Empire is kind of distracting me. Sinburn's Red. That was exactly the reaction I was hoping for with the Luke and Obi-Wan conversation. I actually felt that way making it, so knowing that you had that reaction watching it was that's good. I like original stories as well. It's just Chronicles of Humanity is a very dark world, and since we're living in very bleak times, it's hard to want to tell a story in that world when what we're going through ourselves is pretty grim. So, Heir to the Empire, it does have dark moments, but it's Star Wars, and Star Wars, for the most part, is fun and adventure. It's more about adventure, and I think that's what we need more right now. So I will come back to Chronicles of Humanity at some point, once I have a good story that I feel in the right frame of mind to tell. Well, thank you. Yeah, I understand why in the sequel trilogy they moved on to a new, younger set of characters, but it would have been nice to have one moment where you see Han, Luke, and Leia together, even if it's just one scene in the whole trilogy. Getarim, thank you so much. Well, that's a huge honour to be the one that introduced you to Thrawn. So, if you want to know more about Thrawn, I would suggest checking out Heir to the Empire book that this series is based on, because you'll get the story much faster than waiting for me to finish it, because there are 32 chapters in that one book, and then of course you got the Dark Force Rising and The Last Command to finish off the trilogy. Peace Treaty, yeah, it's strange when things are dark in the real world. We create more hopeful entertainment, and when things are going really well, we create really bleak entertainment. I guess we like to see different things to what we're actually experiencing ourselves. Jerry, I will check that out after the stream. Or maybe tomorrow, it's getting quite late here. Why are Nogri so different in different media? That is a good question. I guess because different artists have different ways of portraying the characters. Langs, nice to see you. So I'll come back and answer your question in a second. Langs, nice to see you. Make sure you get some power converters. And may the force be with you. Right, so Nogri. I guess because they're described in the book. But then artists have had different ways of interpreting that description. So, in the comic book adaptation, they look different from... The first time I saw them would have been either Mysteries of the Sith expansion for Jedi Knight or the Rebellion video game, because you can build Nogri assassins to kidnap rebel characters if you're playing as the Empire. And I can't remember which of those games came out first. I also know that they look different from each other in those two games. So when I was creating the Nogri here, I went with the grey skin and the sharp teeth. I know that in some interpretations they got this jaw that kind of protrudes and the teeth stick out. iClone doesn't really support that, so couldn't go with that look for their mouths. Oops. So again, it's my interpretation of the no agree based on the technical limitations of the software that I'm using. The Starker, welcome. I'm doing okay. A bit fed up of COVID, but I'm sure all of us are. I mean, I don't have it, but just the pandemic in general. I'm sure quite a few of us feel that way. But otherwise I'm okay. Getting tired because it is 1 AM. So I probably will end the stream shortly so that I can go to bed. Starker, that's good. I like to encourage creative people. And I believe you sent me some before, left comments on some of my videos with your video work. And Jedi Academy was one of the first machinima. I made something with Neverwinter Nights first, which is Buffy inspired, but then I wanted to do something Star Wars, so I used Jedi Academy way back. But it's a perfect game for making stories because it's so easy to mod, and there's so many mods out there for different characters and different maps. Yeah, there we go. That brings back memories, thinking about those films. Maybe I should do a watch party for those sometimes, and then I can make fun of how bad they look now, because I made the first one in 2005, and video codecs back then were terrible. So it's all blurry, and I didn't know much about making machinima. Or modding the game, so there's no lip sync or anything like that. Sinburns, thank you so much. I'll chat a bit longer. I do enjoy chatting to you guys. Starker, sometimes I do think I must be insane to attempt to do all those 2 chapters, but here we are. Yeah, that's right. I live in England. I've never been to Ohio. I've been to America, but I've never been to Ohio. I've heard nice things about it though. Well, Starker, good night. Sleep well too. At 4 AM you definitely should go to sleep. Well, it's going to take me a while to finish Heir to the Empire, so it's a bit hard to know what I'm going to be doing after that, because I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I suspect it will probably be the last the Dark Force Rising. Though I may try and do something original in between. Huh. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it's 1 AM and obviously some large vehicle has just driven past my house because it made the ground shake. Huh. I guess that was a busy month for LucasArts. Now, which one did I play first? I can't remember. I really need to I feel like I should play Mysteries of Sith again because of all the Timothy Zahn references in it. It might be helpful. Well, Sinbones, yeah, I chose the name because I was obviously a big Star Wars fan and a big Buffy fan, and I started thinking, how can I combine them? And I thought, well, Angelus would make a good Sith name, so Darth Angelus was how it came to be. Yeah, I'd like to visit Cincinnati sometime. I've got a friend who lives there who kept telling me about Skyline, and apparently that's some kind of variation of chili. I don't know much about it, other than it would be interesting to try it sometime. Well, peace, Streety, have a good night. I'm sure I try to do the streams every Monday night. So it's just like once a week. So check back again next Monday. That's my plan. If there isn't going to be a stream for some reason, then I will post it in the community page on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I've actually been watching Buffy and Angel again through lockdown. I just started season 7 of Buffy, and I'm watching Angel alongside it, so season 4 of Angel. See, now you guys are making me hungry. Yeah, my friend from Cincinnati kept telling me about Skyline, and now you guys are. So, yeah. Well, I think I'm going to end the stream here because I'm, like I said, I'm getting a bit tired and I'm running out of things to say. So I'll be back next Monday, hopefully, and hopefully get some more work done on Chapter 11. Otherwise, I'll be doing commentary on 3 and 4. Oh, okay, I'll answer this question first. Outside of Star Wars, Babylon 5. People say they grew up with a certain franchise, and while I did grow up with Star Wars and Star Trek, I feel like Babylon 5 was the one that helped me understand the world best, if that makes sense. And I enjoy Star Trek as well. It's a very hopeful view of the future. Babylon 5 felt more like a realistic view of the future. It's hopeful but realistic view of the future. And I think that's going to be next on my list. When I finish Buffy and Angel, that's going to be next on my list of shows to rewatch. Actually, if you check my YouTube channel, there's I did a a remake of the space battle from Signs and Portents. I tried to capture the lighting and everything from the way it's originally done, and then I mixed it in with the live footage. But yeah, everyone here, if you've not seen Babylon 5, that's worth checking out. The first season's a bit rough, and the CGI has aged quite badly now, but the story itself is excellent once you get past the rough beginning of season 1. But you can't skip season 1 because there's so much of the story is introduced. But once the story starts, it'll grip you. You won't care about the rough parts of it. But yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming there. So have a good night. I'll see you all next time. May the Force be with you.